YouTube, what is going on, people? And we are back with Liverpool versus Man City from Anfield. This game is going to be a serious game. Both teams in need of these points. Whichever way they go will be crucial for the team that ends up finishing top of the Premier League. So without further ado, let's move over to the tactics board. As you can see, match preview, Liverpool versus Manchester City. Let's just bring up the tactics board. And there we have the starting lineup, which I believe is going to come out at Anfield to face Liverpool in this hugely anticipated matchup. Let's get underway. First, I'm going with Ederson in goal, Otamendi and Stones at centre-back, Walker right-back, Laporte left-back, D Silva left midfield, Fernandinho central midfield, B Silva right midfield, Sterling right wing, Aguero through the middle and Sane left wing. That is the side I feel like Manchester City are going to field on Sunday evening at Anfield. Danger men to look out for. Manchester City, probably the whole starting 11 to be fair. Even Ederson's got a decent ping on him. You know, he might just drop one in over Alisson. Not. But all jokes aside, Sane is an obvious threat, Aguero and Sterling. I think those three are the obvious danger men. D Silva and B Silva can be little tricky bastards at times, and they will, you know, wriggle around, creep into little areas, look for little through balls, and you have to keep an eye on those two as well. Fernandinho just sits deep, mops up, keeps the things ticking over. Walker down the right side, generally a threat on occasions, more often than not doesn't have that decisive pass, much like that Mendy has. Shoots once in a while, scores once in a while, so not really a threat but likes to get forward. Laporte generally plays centre-back position, will be probably starting left-back, so I don't expect him to get too far down. And as we've seen recently in games versus Liverpool, and Salah especially, a lot of teams are trying not to concede the space in behind, and it has somewhat so far affected Salah's style of play. So maybe Liverpool will just sit deep and try and do a job on Salah. Who knows? Walker, by all means, get down that wing because we have Mane to jump in behind you, son. Otamendi, Stones, at times it can be a threat from headers, but with Gomez and Van Dijk on fire, in form, I don't expect them to be winning any headers in our penalty area, that's for sure. But if it's vice versa, hey, I'm down for that. So let's move on to the Liverpool side and the starting lineup that I've gone with. So in goal, we have Alisson, left back, Robertson, right back, Trent Alexander-Arnold, centre back, Virgil van Dijk, centre back, Gomez, left centre midfield, Milner, right centre midfield, Wijnaldum, Firmino, Mane, Salah and Shaqiri. Now you're probably thinking, huh? Well yeah, so I've thrown a little bit of a spanner in the works, guys. I've gone with a 4-2-3-1 formation and I'm playing Firmino as the number 10, alternating with Shaqiri. So both of them play the 10 role at different times depending on their position during the game, whether we don't have the ball or whether we do have the ball. It's a bit of a hit or miss because probably Klopp won't go for this kind of formation. I think he needs a little bit more from midfield. I think he needs a ball carrier. Both the Silvers aren't the biggest workers, aren't the most physical. I just feel like Liverpool in the midfield area, we can overrun those Silvers. I really think we can bully that midfield. With Shaqiri and Firmino alternating in, around and behind Fernandinho, I definitely think we can make something happen, especially with Mane and Salah running in off Laporte and Walker, with one of those guys be threading a little ball through or breaking past Fernandinho onto Otamendi and Stones, who aren't the greatest of defenders. This may not be the Manchester City that starts, but Gundogan is injured. I don't know if he'll be fit. I expect probably KDB to maybe be on the bench, but I don't expect him to start, and I probably don't expect him to even get on the pitch. I think having KDB on the bench is more of a thing where if it's 1-1 on 85 minutes or 80 minutes, maybe he gets 10 minutes on the pitch to see if he can sneak the victory. I'll be very surprised if he starts, even if he plays anything more than the last 60 minutes, 75 even. But I think with this system of alternating Shaqiri and Firmino, it could be very effective. Obviously, you lose one of your midfielders. I think Firmino could do a good role in the midfield. And I also think Shaqiri could as well, bursting forward, a bit like how Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain could and has done in previous games. So this is the starting lineup and formation I've gone with. Keita, has been ruled fit and able. Whether Klopp takes the chance, has him starting or has him on the bench. The obvious formation is a 4-3-3, the same as Napoli probably. Milner, Wijnaldum, Keita, and then Salah, Mane and Firmino with fantastic 5 at the back. So that is the normal formation Klopp is probably more than likely to go with. But I've just gone with a little bit of a tinker because I think he may tinker. So this could be a game where actually Salah and Mane eventually or finally come to fruition. I think a lot of the reason why they aren't really firing at the moment is because the Premier League is still only 7-8 games in. All the teams are really fighting for a good strong start, and there tends to be a drop off during the middle of the season from about 15 games in until, let's say, 10 games till the finish, and then the teams start performing again to avoid a relegation or win the Premier League, etc, etc. So there is a definite drop off during mid-season, and I think as soon as the drop off sort of begins to start happening, I believe that's when our strikers will start to find form. So Klopp substitutions for this match. On the bench we have Mignolet, Klein, Matip, Henderson, Fabinho, Keita and Daniel Sturridge. Last game Moreno was in for Klein. I'm not really sure why Moreno is in for Klein. Never seen Moreno at right back. Doesn't play right back, but I've seen Klein play left back and Klein plays right back, and Klein could probably, if you're really desperate, play on the right side of a 3 at the back. So I don't really get the whole thing in Moreno. The possibility of having Moreno on the subs bench is the fact I think he can come on for Mane at left wing. So that's a strange one. Lovren isn't really in the squad at the minute. Matip is ahead of him. Jordan Henderson, Fabinho, Keita, as you are, and obviously Daniel Sturridge, and that is our 7 substitutions. Oxlade-Chamberlain, as far as I know, and Adam Lallana are still out. If I've missed anyone, apologise. Right, so I believe that is a wrap, guys. Let me quickly do my man of the match and predicted score and scorers. So my man of the match is going to be Virgil van Dijk. I think we're going to dominate the midfield. I think we're going to be too energetic. I think we're going to be too solid in defence for them. We might concede 1, maybe 2, but we'll see it out. So I'm going to go with 3-2. My scorers, a Shaqiri goal, and I think I'm really digging here. A Salah goal and a Mane goal. This might be the team that we need to play. They will play the way they're going to play. They're not going to change. We know what we're getting. We know the weaknesses. So yes, that is now a wrap, guys. I've been Red Mist, Ala LFC Ninja. Roll on Sunday. Let's do this, people.